What's up again, everybody? It's been a while since the last Hall of Fame video, but we're back at it again with another 3 cards to add to the official, unofficial Dice Masters Hall of Fame. The first card that we're going to induct this time is Jinzo Trap Destroyer. This is a control card that saw a huge amount of competitive play for the entirety of its modern life cycle because it was a very powerful counter to the very popular ramp of Professor X Global. It was birthed into the perfect environment for its own success as PXG was so prevalent and popular on casual and competitive teams that you could essentially just slap this on every team you ran back in the day and hinder your opponent's use of PXG. You could put this card on your team without PXG and play it as a pure counter, and you could even put this on your team alongside PXG to limit the two-sided capability of the global. While it didn't shut down their usage of PXG completely, the act of paying 2 life for each use of PXG meant that they had to be much more careful with their own usage of the global, as they could bring their own life total within striking distance of your board. If this card ability were reprinted for Modern, I am very confident it would still see widespread play, and for all of those reasons it earns itself a spot in the Hall of Fame. The next card entering the Hall of Fame is Dwarf Wizard Paragon Zentarum. I still remember when this card was released and how crazy it was to have for the first time a persistent blanking effect. Before this, we had seen Constantine Hellblazer and Prismatic Spray blanking card text for either your turn or your opponent's turn, but never persistently. This was the first time that you could play out a die, select another die, and just be rid of the text on that card completely and for multiple turns. It introduced the when fielded while active format when it comes to blanking that we now see on several modern cards, and earned a spot on a vast majority of competitive teams at national and world competitions upon its release. I specifically remember watching the dance that high-level players would do with Dwarf Wizards by fielding and fabricating him to avoid the opponent's Dwarf Wizard blanking their own. Dwarf Wizard is very deserving of a spot in the Hall of Fame. The final card that we will be inducting is one that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm sure many people passionately dislike. This is Beholder Master Aberration. If you know this card, then you need no explanation as to why this is being inducted, and you certainly don't need me to explain how this card works with Imprisoned. For those that don't know, Imprisoned is a basic action card that captures any number of opposing characters with a total fielding cost of 2 or less. Capturing means that those character dice come off the board and are removed from the game, and Imprisoned doesn't let them out until it is cancelled or until you damage your opponent. So if you haven't put the combo together yet, you attack with this Beholder. It uses all of the basic action card abilities on the field, one of which being Imprisoned. You capture a bunch of your opponent's character dice, and then you pull your Beholder out of the attack zone with the global ability on Distraction. And then the next turn, you do it again, and again, and again, never damaging your opponent until you have more than 20 damage on board and they have little to no blockers. It was a very unique, very powerful, very hard to deal with win condition in the early days of Dice Masters, and the team was one of the big 3 of the competitive scene in its time. If you're wondering how good this card is without Imprisoned, the answer is still very good. I recently put this Beholder on a team in the 3 Wishes format, and even just using all 4 of the basic action cards each turn is insanely powerful and fun. I'm very happy to see it make its way into the Dice Masters Hall of Fame. So there you have it. There are another 3 cards entering the Dice Masters Hall of Fame. Please tell me, do you want to keep seeing videos where we induct these cards and talk about how good they were? If so, which cards do you like, and which cards would you mind seeing be inducted into the Hall of Fame? What do you think about the idea of inducting cards that were banned or errated into the Hall of Fame? Do you think those cards deserve notoriety, or would you rather them stay on the outside looking in? Let me know in a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.